residents safe. So I would like to start by thanking everyone for your partnership and your cooperation in what we have been able to do. I know that Dr. Michael from USF, many of you know him, he's a USF professor, an epidemiologist, and he does a lot of the projections associated with COVID-19. And he has indicated that as a region, that we have reduced or prevented approximately 1.4 million cases of COVID-19 by implementing the mask ordinance and having our communities collectively wear those facial coverings and practice safe social distancing in the last couple of months since the beginning of this pandemic. And so we do have a great community. We can reduce these numbers of COVID-19, but we need to continue doing that right now. As stated, we are in an incredible spike right at this moment. Also, COVID-19 doesn't know where a city ends and a county begins. And so that's even more of a reason for us all to come together and make sure that that we can prevent this disease. We do have a vaccine. A lot of individuals believe that with the arrival of that vaccine, we don't have to take any further steps. That is not factual. We have got to continue wearing masks. We won't have the entire community vaccinated for a number of months. And so we've got to continue forward with these simple steps that will allow us to all stay safe. Now, we have, in the city of Tampa, have taken a number of steps to help out our small businesses, including our restaurants, bars, and retail. We have provided the tools necessary for them to be aware. We've provided signage for their businesses indicating what safety steps need to be taken. At the very beginning of the opening of restaurants and retail, we opened up our streets, allowed tents to be erected, whatever we could do to help the businesses get back up on their economic feet and do that responsibly and do that safely. And all of the information that we have can be found on tampagov.net. And we really did well in the very beginning. We passed out over 500,000 masks just in the city of Tampa, and I know the other jurisdictions have made those masks available as well. But the few businesses that aren't being good citizens in the community have got to be addressed. So here in the city of Tampa, Hillsborough County BOCC, as many are aware, passed an amendment just yesterday that mirrors the one that's been in effect in Pinellas County. And that requires individuals to be seated while eating and drinking, and bans, dance floors, or loitering next to the bars. And you're going to hear a lot more from Hillsborough County Commissioner Pat Kemp and also Pinellas County Commissioner Pat Gerard about their particular ordinances. That Hillsborough County ordinance is effective in the city of Tampa as well. So we will be enforcing that as of this evening. We have been warning those bad actors in the city of Tampa since March. We went out last weekend again and provided warnings and provided the necessary signage, whatever the bars or restaurants needed to be able to act safely and responsibly. So we are going to have our code enforcement out this evening. They'll be enforcing that Hillsborough County ordinance, and they'll also be enforcing the city of Tampa's mask ordinance. Civil infraction up to $500 fine or a second-degree misdemeanor, and that will be for those repeat offenders. So we are counting on the businesses. We're also counting on our residents to understand and take seriously their level of personal responsibility and ensure that they aren't holding these events that in essence are super spreaders. So we want to make sure everyone has a very safe holiday season and they don't begin the new year with COVID and possibly in the hospital, and even worse in cases where individuals are losing their lives in our community. So with that said, what I would like to do now is to introduce the chair of Pinellas County Commission, Pat Gerard.
Thank you, Mayor Castor. Just want to say thank you again for organizing this event and for the approach that we all have for regionalism. I think that's very important. As you know, we have people who have been very diligent about wearing masks and staying home when they need to. But a few weeks ago, our sheriff went out and did a survey and found that I think it was 40% of bars and restaurants were not following the rules. Well, actually 40% of the bars, a slightly less percentage of the restaurants. And so we're focusing a lot of our attention now on those entities. We've gone out and are providing them, as you are, information about the ordinance, making sure that they have something to post so that they can point it out to their patrons. And it is a small number of entities that are willfully resisting, but it can have a huge impact, as we know. We had our second highest number of new cases last week, and we're inching higher every day. And we're being told that it won't be till the middle of January till we have the actual peak. But I think we can try to mitigate that with what we're doing. We have new signs up in the bars and restaurants, and we're going to be enforcing it if people can't behave. And we're actually having a lot of people ask us to enforce even more stringently this ordinance that we've had in place for months. And it's unfortunate this time of year, people want to relax. They want to go visit their families. They want to believe that it's going to be over soon. And you're right, we're not going to be vaccinated for at least 6 months. So we just need to hang in there a bit longer. And I think we can have a huge impact if people will just wear their masks, stay home when they don't need to go out, and stay away from people who are not part of your family.
Yes. Excellent advice. And also, Dr. Michael, I know, made a presentation to Hillsborough Board of County Commissioners, and also has been on my Facebook Live several times. He gives an update every Wednesday afternoon. Gave one yesterday that literally shows an increase in the number of cases that looks like a rocket ship going straight up. And it makes the peak or the spike that we saw in July, it just pales in comparison to the predictions here for January and into February. And if we can get 10% more individuals, residents in our communities to simply wear a mask, we can reduce that Mount Everest spike into a veritable speed bump in the road. And in the interim, we will save a number of lives in our communities as well. I want to let the media that are watching this now, if you have any questions, please text them to 813-390-7455 with your name and outlet and the question that you want asked. And if you want to direct it specifically at one of the individuals that's presenting today, you're more than welcome to do that. Again, 813-390-7455. Thank you, and thank you, Commissioner Gerard. Next, we have Clearwater Mayor Frank Hibbard to talk about the actions that they're taking in their community. Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to be with all of you today. And I was with Mayor Castor and Kreisman earlier this week, and we were talking about issues that are regional. Well, there's no issue that is more regional or nationally that's on our mind right now more than COVID-19. I mean, I can't wait for the day when I can throw this away, but we're not there yet. And we're in the latter innings of this pandemic, and we cannot let our guard down. We want to win the game. And the way to do that in this time of caring is for us to slow down a little bit, be patient with one another, and care more about the people that are around you and that you love, and take all of the precautions that are necessary to flatten this curve. Together, we can do it, and the results will be worth it. We in Clearwater, as the other cities, are not tolerating people who are breaking the ordinances. We are going to be out there looking for the bad actors. We hope for voluntary compliance, but CPD and the sheriff are going to be out there reminding people. And if they are repeat offenders, we are going to take action. We don't want to do that. We have really allowed restaurants to open up outside. We've closed down streets. We have always been trying to protect lives and livelihoods, but we need to protect lives over all else. So I just encourage everybody out there to really follow the science and be cautious and be aware and be thoughtful. And we're going to get through this holiday season and until the vaccine is widespread. So we look forward to your questions. And again, Mayor Castor, thank you for organizing this and the fact that we are all unified together in our approach.
Excellent. And excellent words, excellent advice, Mayor Hibbard. And it's not lost on us that this is a very, very difficult time for our small businesses economically. But understand that we will get back up on our economic feet much quicker if we can get through this pandemic safely, if everyone follows the simple rules that we're asking you to right now. So thank you very much, Mayor. And next, we're going to hear from the chair of the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners, Pat Kemp. Good morning.
Thank you so much. And thank you again, Mayor Castor, for putting this group together. And I can't more emphasize what you had said, that the COVID virus doesn't recognize jurisdictional lines between cities and counties and the region. So as much as we can all work together to send out the same clear message to people about how to stay safe, we need to do so. And I think it would have been unthinkable back in March that in Hillsborough County at this time, we've lost 1,000 lives to COVID in just our county, 1,000 lives. We have 67,000 infections in Hillsborough County that have been here or resolved. And as you mentioned before, surging right now, when you look at the graph, a line straight up and with no end in sight. So we really need to do everything we can to save as many lives as we can. We have the vaccine starting now, but it won't be widespread. Our protection won't be widespread until months to come. And we have to do everything that we can to send the message and work with our businesses, work with our community to make sure that as many people stay safe and as many people stay out of our hospitals. And, you know, we still don't know the long-term effects of people who have this as well. And those may be quite substantial and be, you know, also have impacts on our community as well as their lives and families in our counties and cities. The message is simple, and you have all said it. Wear those masks. It's amazing that we have such a cheap, easy way to do great protection, and it's shown to be very, very effective. But also follow those social distancing protocols and follow the orders and do everything we can not to congregate in large crowds inside for over 15 minutes. It's been a clear message really about how we keep safe. And I know it's been difficult and there's been fatigue. I would also like to deny that this virus exists in our community, but the evidence is so compelling and widespread, and we have got to exercise everything we can do. Yesterday, the Board of County Commissioners of Hillsborough County, over the county, voted to strengthen our public health measures in order to protect residents, to join together, and we put forward the same kind of rules that Pinellas County has been practicing, and we're working alongside with local businesses to help them understand and implement these new measures in their establishments. I know that we are all making that effort, as well as the measures that have been in effect for months. So I want to thank the businesses who are taking serious steps and proactively implementing them. We have had, as everyone has mentioned, a lot of businesses that are working and doing their fair share, and a lot of individuals, because otherwise we would have had unbelievable surges by now that we couldn't handle. But we will be going out now, making a extra concerted, great effort, a push to warn people right before this holiday season that we don't need a surge on top of the surge we already have. We're putting out simple educational materials in English and Spanish, along with signage. And we added requirements saying that any business establishment, including bars, nightclubs, and restaurants, this is in Hillsborough County, but matching Pinellas, serving food on site, may only serve food or drinks to patrons seated at a table or bar. Bars, nightclubs, and restaurants shall not permit congregation of unseated persons in any area except for groups of patrons awaiting seating or remaining socially distanced in groups not larger than 10, who must all be companions. These prohibitions are intended to prohibit dance floor areas with any bar, nightclub, or restaurant, other areas allowing the congregation of unseated persons. So that was just passed by the Hillsborough County Commission yesterday. It's extremely important that we all work together and do everything we can to really just bend the curve. I'd like to get the curve down to zero. And just really protect ourselves. We have ways of doing that. You can, if there's any, if as someone in Hillsborough County would like to report, we have a number to do that, 813-274-6600. But we are really trying to work in a concerted effort to protect everyone, get us through this, get that vaccine out, and protect our small businesses and protect everyone so that we move forward in the future in the most healthy, prosperous way we can. So thank you again for putting this together.
Thank you. And we are also thankful to Pinellas County and Hillsborough County for putting this ordinance in place. And as everyone has pointed out, the majority of those small businesses, bars, restaurants have been adhering to the requirements, as have the majority of our residents. But it's those, those small group of bad actors that literally can be an event that we have coined the new phrase, the super spreader. And as all of the data has indicated, it's the 21 to 24-year-olds that are spreading it the most rapidly, and quite often asymptomatic. So if you are home from college, as my sons are right now, or you're the parents of a college student, make sure they're staying home and they're not out at these events that could be deemed super spreaders that may bring it back home to you. So thank you, Commissioner Kemp. And now I will turn it over to my friend, Rick Kreisman from St. Petersburg. Rick?
Thank you, Mayor Castor. It is a honor for me to be on this call with my fellow mayors and our county commission chairs. This is an important conversation that we're having today, because it really only works, and we're only able to be effective at fighting COVID if we're doing things regionally, and that's across the board. As Mayor Hibbert was talking about, how Mayor Castor and I were talking along with him about regionalism and the importance of it. It's more important as we address COVID than pretty much anything else we've ever done. Because as has been said over and over again, this virus does not stop at county borders or city borders, nor do our residents. My residents love to go to Tampa and to Clearwater and Hillsborough County to recreate, as do residents of Tampa and Clearwater like to come to St. Petersburg. And so if we don't have uniform policy, it makes it that much harder for us to really combat this. So thank you to the County Commission in Hillsborough for your actions yesterday. I think it makes it easier on all of our residents when the policies are consistent across county lines. Everybody knows what the rules are. We all can follow them easier because we know these are the rules, whether we're in Tampa, we're in Clearwater, or we're in St. Petersburg. We have the same rules to follow. We talk about our efforts here. In Pinellas, it wasn't that long ago where we were averaging between 2.5% and 3.5% for our rolling 2-week average of positive tests. And we've seen that climb because, unfortunately, some of the messaging that came down from Tallahassee, I think, confused a lot of our residents and the orders that came down. And so today, we want to make sure that everybody understands the rules are very simple, both for those who are going to the businesses and for the business owners. Wear your mask, maintain social distancing. You're not eating or drinking if you're not sitting. And for those people who sit and want to talk about, I should be able to go out and dance if I want to. Really? Are we really going to have that kind of a discussion and a debate that you cannot put off going onto a dance floor or holding an office party until we are through this? It's amazing to me that these are the discussions we're having. And it's time that we stop having them and just recognize that the light at the end of the tunnel is coming. We just have to be patient and continue to take simple steps, and we will get there, and we will get there together. If we want to keep our economy open, if we want to keep our businesses open, and we want to stay healthy and safe, put your mask on, maintain your social distancing. Cities and counties all across the country right now are closing down. We don't want to join those ranks. We want our businesses to be able to stay open. We want our people to continue to be employed, and the easiest way to do that is to follow the rules. In St. Petersburg, we've been enforcing the ordinance. I wish we didn't have to issue citations, but we've issued over 189 citations already. And unfortunately, there are several businesses who've received multiple citations, and we will be taking additional action against them. Don't make us do that. We don't want to do that. None of us on this call want to issue one citation, not one of us. We want everybody to do the right thing because it's the right thing and because we care about each other and about our communities. So don't put us in that position where we have to do that. Let's all follow the rules. Let's get through this. Let's get everybody vaccinated with a vaccine that is safe. And let's come out on the other side of this stronger as a community, individually, and stronger as a region. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, the message is clear. We need to be one Tampa Bay and ensure that everyone is safe, healthy, and we can only do that by everyone understanding their level of responsibility. And I know that people are frustrated, they're anxious, want to get through this. Nobody wants to get through it more than everyone here. So we can all do that very simply, social distancing and wearing our masks. So thank you all very, very much for your partnership. It is much appreciated. And we want to be that example for the nation here in Tampa Bay. So we will open it up to any questions now from the media.
Yeah. The first question comes from Daylina Miller of WUSF. How do you fight pandemic fatigue? And people know they're supposed to be wearing masks, but they just aren't. How do we fight through that?
Well, I can, and we can open that up to some of the steps that that other communities are taking. But I know here we're doing our best to fight it by bringing the message from a number of different angles, doing the PSAs, looking at the influencers in the community. We got with all of our sports teams, baseball, football, hockey, and had members of each of those do a get in the game approach where, if you want to be in the game, you need to wear your mask. So just trying to keep it lighthearted. We had dance parties. I mean, anything that we can do, any message that will resonate with our community, we are more than willing. I mean, let's get very serious. I actually danced. So if that doesn't make somebody put their mask on, maybe up over their eyes, but anything that we can do to get a fresh message out there, we're more than willing to do. And anybody else, steps you're taking?
If I may jump in real quick, we've done something and rolled out a program we call Race to Safe. And it's really a challenge. We wanted to challenge our community in St. Petersburg and in the larger Pinellas County community. Let's become, and obviously Tampa too and Hillsborough County, let's become the safest region in the entire state of Florida. Let's have the lowest rolling 2-week COVID average of anywhere else in the state of Florida. And if we do that, aside from the fact that we're going to be a healthier community, our businesses will be more successful. And look, if you're someone thinking about visiting from out of state or or anywhere else in the state of Florida, and you're going to go somewhere, where are you going to go? You're going to go to the safest region and the safest communities when it comes to COVID. So we want you coming here if you're going to come from outside. And so how do we do that? We become the safest. So it's Race to Safe. Let's challenge everyone. Simple steps, we can become the safest and kick everybody's butt around the state of Florida.
There you go. We're very competitive. There's no doubt about that. I like it. Sign us up, Coach.
Well, we were talking about that earlier this week, and I would echo Rick's comments. We've got the Super Bowl coming up. We really want that message to be that we have low rates in the Tampa Bay area and be an example. If we want to help ourselves, my father used to always say, God helps those who help themselves. Well, we can really position ourselves for February if we come together as a community.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right.
Dan Maddox from Fox 13, as well as Liv Avora, who is with Telemundo, have the same question. People think per the governor's order that ordinances in the localities around here have no teeth. Can you explain how we can enforce, even though the governor has a different order?
Mm-hmm. We can't enforce these. The governor's order asks us or mandates that local municipalities have to show the economic impact if we take action against some of these businesses. But we are able to cite managers, business owners for violation of these ordinances. And no one has challenged our local mask ordinances as well. Although the governor hasn't put a mask ordinance in for the entire state, ours are in effect and are sound.
All right. Chuck Hinson has a question for Mayor Kreisman. Will there be any additional enforcement at area gyms? He knows from experience that people aren't wearing masks.
Yeah, and that's a great question, Chuck. And if you're aware of gyms that aren't enforcing the rules, let us know. We'll send our code enforcement officers out there, and if they see a violation, they will cite them. If you receive multiple citations, we are looking at our options right now for additional sanctions that we can implement against the business. I know for bars and restaurants, for example, that have extended hour permits to sell alcohol, we've warned them all. If you get 3 citations, you are at risk of having that extended hour permit suspended or revoked. The only way we know about businesses that are violating the order, if we haven't been able to get there, is if the public advises us of it, and we'll send someone out to check it. Again, our hope, I know it's everybody on this call, our hope is we don't have to do that everybody will voluntarily follow the rules. Make it easy on yourself, make it easy on us, make it healthier for all of us.
Perfect.
And then he has a follow-up question. What is the average 2-week positivity rate in each community?
Ours, as of today, is just below 9%. I know here in Hillsborough County.
I think ours is
Pat?
between 7 and 8. I
Yeah.
can't be sure. It certainly surged in the last couple of weeks.
And there are some
Yeah, I think,
it's higher, and there are some counties that are up over 10%. And to Mayor Kreisman's point earlier, you know, as we were on that downward trend, everybody was working towards 2% positivity, and now it's increased. And if we don't take these simple steps, it's going to increase to the point we're going to overrun our hospitals. So we really just need to take that level of personal responsibility very, very seriously. As was said, nobody wants to fine anyone. We want us as a community to all race to be safe.
Mayor, just in answer to that question, Hillsborough County, we do have a dashboard that anyone can go to online and check. I check it all the time. I think the last time I checked, it was something like 8.6% for Hillsborough County. We tried very hard to bring it down, as the CDC recommendation said, to bring it down to 5% or below. We never got there before it started to, before things were opened up again, before we started surging again, and now at 8.6, which is really not a good indication. I have to tell you that New York City brought it down to 1%. And we've, so it's 5% is not good enough, but if we could get it down there now, that would be an excellent indication. And we can do that. We saw the difference when people were using masks and practicing and took all precautions. We saw a huge drop in the number of infections. And we want to just get through this last part again. Let's do an extra effort at this time when we know things are so dangerous and we see the vaccine in sight to bring that number down.
As of yesterday, our 2-week rolling average in Pinellas was 7.05. But we had a single day of 7.51. And so obviously, if we have percentages that continue like that, we're going to see that 2-week rolling go up as opposed to down. So we have got to drive that down below that 5%.
No doubt.
And then the final question comes from Colin Wolf from Creative Loafing. Can you give a little more detail about the fines that bars will incur and what constitutes a repeat offender?
Well, I think a repeat offender is pretty easy. You offend once and then you offend twice. We have seen a number of repeat offenders, and it's a very small group, as everyone has alluded to, that just pay no attention to these rules. And there's a level of responsibility on the patron's part as well, but really the onus is on the particular establishment. And the fines can be a civil citation up to $500, or it can be a second-degree misdemeanor that is punishable by a fine of $500 or 60 days in jail. We don't want to do that, so we don't really want anyone to have to know what the elements of a fine would be or the consequences of disregarding these simple steps. We just want you to comply with them.
And Mayor, can I just say, one of the things we've heard repeatedly from people is that they will not frequent a business that's not abiding by the rules. So if you think this mask ordinance is hurting your business, you're actually hurting your business by not enforcing it.
That is true.
You know, I personally will not enter a business where it's not being enforced.
That's right.
And we hear every day from people who say that. And we're all tired of being at home, but a bit longer.
Yes, without a doubt. All right, well, thank you all very, very much. And again, each of the jurisdictions will be out in force, and we want everybody to be good citizens, and we want to be that community that everyone looks to the Tampa Bay to see how we have reduced the number of COVID cases. So thank you all. Happy holidays, and let's all wear a mask and be safe out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.